Once upon a time, in a small village nestled among majestic mountains, lived a young man named Marco. He was just 24, but his mind felt ancient, burdened by a constant storm of thoughts. Day in and day out, his mind raced, replaying past sorrows and inventing future worries. This endless mental chatter left him exhausted, stealing his sleep, his focus, and even his ability to smile. He felt trapped in a relentless tempest, unable to find a moment of stillness or joy. He heard tales of a wise old man living in a distant village high in the hills. This man, once a renowned psychologist in the bustling city, had helped countless people find inner peace. Now, in his old age, he had retreated to a quiet life, surrounded by nature, occasionally sharing his wisdom with those who sought him out. A spark ignited within Marco. Perhaps, he thought, this man can guide me out of my storm. Driven by this newfound hope, Marco embarked on a long and arduous journey. After many days of travel, he finally arrived at the tranquil hillside village. There, he found a small, charming house adorned with lush green vines. On the porch, an old man sat in serene silence, his eyes closed, a picture of perfect peace. Marco approached him cautiously and spoke in a soft voice. "Grandfather, my mind is in turmoil. I am plagued by thoughts, and I cannot find rest. I yearn for peace in my heart. Can you help me?" The old man slowly opened his eyes, a gentle and knowing smile gracing his lips. "So, it is peace you seek," he said warmly. "Come with me. I have a small task for you." He led Marco to his quaint little yard and picked up a glass. He filled it with water right to the very brim, so full that the slightest tremor would cause it to spill. He handed the glass to Marco and said, "I want you to walk from here to the very edge of the village and then return. But you must not spill a single drop of water." Marco looked at the glass, then at the old man, his expression a mix of confusion and determination. He wanted to prove himself, so he accepted the challenge without question. Holding the glass with utmost care, he began his walk. The village path was narrow and bustling with life. People hurried past, shopkeepers called out to customers, and dogs barked playfully, but Marco saw none of it. His entire world had shrunk to the shimmering surface of the water in the glass. He focused every ounce of his being on keeping it steady. He walked with deliberate, measured steps, his breath even and slow. He was a silent, focused figure moving through a world of noise and motion. The villagers, sensing the importance of his task, watched him with curiosity but did not disturb his concentration. Time seemed to stretch and bend around him. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, he returned to the old man's house. With a sigh of relief, he presented the full glass. "Grandfather," he announced proudly, "I did it. I didn't spill even one drop." The old man nodded, his smile widening. "That is excellent," he said. "But tell me, as you walked, did you see the children playing by the roadside? Did you hear the vendors shouting their wares, or the dogs barking in the alley? Marco paused, his brow furrowed in thought. He searched his memory, but it was a blank. No, he admitted, surprised. I saw nothing. I heard nothing. My entire focus was on the glass and the water within it. The old man's smile became radiant. And there, he said gently, is the secret you've been searching for. It was never in a distant land or with a wise sage. It has always been within you. When your mind is fully anchored in the present moment, there is no room for past regrets or future fears. There is no space for the chaotic storm of thoughts. While you were carrying that glass, your mind was completely present, focused solely on one task. In that moment, you weren't sad about yesterday or worried about tomorrow. You were simply here. And in that state, your mind became quiet, clear, and peaceful. A wave of understanding washed over Marco. The simple task with the glass of water was a profound lesson. The peace he had been desperately seeking wasn't a destination to be reached, but a state to be inhabited. It was the natural condition of the mind when it is fully engaged with the now. He bowed his head in gratitude. "Grandfather," he said softly, his voice filled with newfound clarity, "I understand now. To quiet my mind, I must bring it into this very moment. That is where true peace resides." The wise old man placed a comforting hand on his shoulder as the sun began to set, casting long golden rays across the peaceful village. Birds chirped their final songs as they returned to their nests. Marco started his journey back home, but he was no longer the same restless young man who had arrived days ago. He walked with a lighter step, a serene calm radiating from within. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video with new lessons to explore. Until then, stay present and be well.